S-E-X. You know what I'm talking about. The urge to merge. It is so deeply carved in our ancient nature that almost anywhere you can think of has, at one point, been the backdrop of putting the bread in the oven. Naturally, this means that even in some of the most harsh and unorthodox environments, the intrinsic command to shag still reigns supreme.
You want to have sex free falling at 125 miles per hour?
It would be the sexiest thing we've ever done.
It would be hot, really hot.
Now this concept got me thinking, where is possibly the weirdest and most unorthodox environment people have had sex? With space being a big deal recently, I thought of space first. More specifically, the International Space Station. So I asked, have astronauts had sex in space yet? For context, both men and women are up there in a very isolated environment for about 6 months. So surely, across the station's 20-year runtime, something had to have happened at some point, right? Well, I looked and read, and the boring official answer that NASA has put out is no. No one has had sex in space yet, as far as we know. So, with space failing to produce anything entertaining regarding the subject matter, I looked to the next best place of extreme isolation: Antarctica. Now, when I say Antarctica, I'm referring to the research stations stationed there. There's about 40 of these facilities all around the continent, and about 1,000 people in total stay there through the winter in total darkness and isolation every year. The largest station on the continent is called McMurdo, and it can have up to 250 people stay there during the winter season, or for 6 months. Now, I'm going to leave the implication of what that means to you. Actually, I'm just going to tell you. Imagine for 1 second being in your prime, the zenith, if you will, if I may say, of your urges. And you are confined in this compound. Granted, it's big, but it's 6 months. You're confined there for that period of time with the same people. I don't know about you, but at that point, it's pretty much just Love Island except with smart people. And, you're in Antarctica. Now I know what you're thinking to yourself and probably have been thinking to yourself. Who the hell does this guy think he is? He doesn't live in Antarctica, nor is he a scientist that works there. Why should I listen to anything that he says? And you know what? I hope he dies. I hope he dies.
I hope he dies.
And well, fair enough, I really don't have any credibility on this topic. But at least I'm admitting that. Yet, I still was curious, and for myself, I went online and scraped up a couple morsels of evidence which support my assumption, which is that a lot of sex happens in Antarctica. Corroboration number 1. Nicholas Johnson, who has had 10 years of experience working on US Antarctic bases, has stated that the workers and researchers had heedless sex. So much so that people are regularly tested for HIV during the winter. I don't really think I have to explain this one. He used the word heedless. I probably haven't used that word in like the past 5 years. So the fact that he's whipping that baby out right now to describe the sex not only speaks volumes to how much is happening, but also the way in which it's happening. Something which is heedless is reckless, foolhardy, and probably can get you HIV. One year, there was 16,500 condoms delivered for just 200 people staying over the winter. Goes to show, maybe they're not afraid of the cold, they're afraid of the rampant AIDS. People also do this thing called taking an ice wife or ice husband, which is basically someone you hook up with your entire stay at Antarctica, and they're kinda sworn to secrecy never to talk about the relationship once back home. Even if they are married. Oh, you have a wife stationed in Antarctica? You mean that place with all the Antarctic mega-genius alphas? Well, it's nice to meet you, Cornelius Von Have Sex With My Wife in Antarctica. In conclusion, they boning down there.